If you still see yourself as a muted, quiet image. If you're tired of drowning in other people's stories. And if you're exhausted from constantly being swallowed by others. Then this video is made exactly for you. Today we're diving into one of the deepest layers of feminine psychology, the mindset that Catwoman embodies. The mindset of a woman who is a subject, not an object. A mindset that doesn't just shift your energy, but can transform your entire life from supporting character to main character. And what's wild is that so many of us have been exactly where Selena once was, simple, shy, people-pleasing, quiet. A life with no fire, no edge, no boldness, afraid of being too much, afraid of being seen, afraid of being powerful. Selena lived exactly in that object mindset. At her job, she was the timid secretary of a corrupt, powerful man who she couldn't even stand up to. She believed she wasn't attractive, wasn't valuable, wasn't worthy of being noticed. And how many of us have been exactly here? How many of us are still shrinking ourselves to earn respect, acceptance, and a small place in other people's worlds? But Selena's turning point was her death. The moment she discovered the truth about her boss's corruption and he pushed her out the window, something inside her died. The part that was weak, silent, desperate to please, addicted to approval. When the cats gathered around her and she rose again, that muted woman was gone. A new self, bold, wild, unapologetic, and powerful rose in her place. Catwoman. And this is exactly how real transformation happens. To become your most powerful version, parts of you must die. The parts that play small, that live for validation, that believe they're unworthy, that hide their fire. When Selena walked back into her office, everything shifted. Not because of her outfit. Not because of makeup. But because of the center of gravity she carried. Her gaze, her slow voice, her calculated movements. Her presence commanded the room. Her energy shaped the space before she even spoke. Even Batman was affected by her. Men were intimidated, captivated, and respectful all at once. And this transformation feels familiar because you have this power too. You've just been afraid of it. So many of us fear the power inside us, so we hide it. We tell ourselves, but what if I end up alone? What if people don't like me? And that fear is exactly what blocks your strength. One of the most beautiful things about Catwoman is her duality. She's not a hero, not a villain, she's both. She learned to take the parts of herself society told her to hide, and she alchemized them into raw power. This is real alchemy. Turning pain into strength, silence into boundaries, fear into presence. This is the shift from object to subject. A subject mindset means you are the center. You create the current instead of chasing it. You set the tone without saying a word. You get respect without fighting for it. When you are a subject, your presence speaks for you. People naturally align their behavior to you because you hold the center of gravity. Now, here's the question so many of you have. How do we enter this subject mindset? How do we stop being objects? How do we get respect without effort? Let me give you a real-life example. Imagine a girl walking into a university classroom. If she has an object mindset, she goes straight into scanning mode. What do I say so they like me? What if they judge me? What if I sound stupid? She rehearses every sentence. Every laugh, every whisper feels like it's about her. Her energy scatters and her presence dissolves. But if she has a subject mindset, she simply sits. She simply watches. She simply exists and the room adjusts. Her presence becomes the message. Not because of techniques. Not because of speeches, but because of energy. This is the difference between object and subject. Catwoman shows this perfectly. Respect isn't something you chase. It's something that emits from you. Respect doesn't need scripts. It doesn't need fights. It doesn't need explanations. It comes from knowing yourself so deeply that your boundaries are made of energy, not words. When you're a subject, your silence is a boundary. Your gaze is a signal. Your breathing creates law. And this is the part many young women have never touched. You've set boundaries, used all the right phrases, tried every technique. But after a few days, the respect fades again. Why? Because techniques don't create boundaries. A center does. When your subject state activates, boundaries stop being a project and become your existence. That's the moment your presence alone can shift a room. Catwoman is the embodiment of that moment. She is free from needing approval, free from needing acceptance, free from proving herself. She simply is, and the world rearranges around her. Now let's reach the essential question. Where does real power come from? Here's the hidden code. Real power comes from deep self-knowledge. From knowing exactly what you want, what you're not, what you will not tolerate, and what you value. When you define yourself from within, your energy becomes unified. And when energy is unified, people feel it, respond to it, and gravitate toward it. Not because you tried, but because your energy speaks louder than your words. But when you're in the object mindset, your energy is scattered. Your signals are mixed. Your presence is diluted. The subject mindset is the return to center. And now we arrive at the next step of this journey. If Catwoman can command respect without techniques, if she can control a room with nothing but presence, how can we in real life recognize manipulation, emotional games, and hidden intentions instantly? Without memorizing scripts, without taking endless courses, without stressing about what to say. This is exactly what we'll dive into in the next episode. A full dissection of how to sense manipulation on the spot, not through tactics, but through a subject presence that no one can fake. So if you're ready to step out of the object role, reclaim your center, and enter the Catwoman state in your own life, hit that subscribe. Let's begin.